Hello to a grey day in Hampshire. Perfect for staying indoors and playing games. Many of you know that I've got a very big soft spot for the Simonitch series of 4X games. I think I've got 4 of them. The Holland, Ardennes, Ukraine and Stalingrad. And I was aware of this new entry, Salerno 43, which I think came out last year, and I sort of sat on the fence with it for quite a while, because I didn't know that it was really going to get me too excited, and I think the reasons for that were it didn't seem to have the sweeping scope of Ukraine or Stalingrad. Lots of room for manoeuvre. Didn't really have the big appeal of the larger game of Ardennes, that epic struggle, which would also, I guess, work with 4 players, and the interesting airborne operation that was Holland. So for me it sort of sat somewhere in a different area, but having bought it because it was on sale in the UK for a very good price, it's about £36 posted, I've come to the conclusion that's exactly why it is a good game, because it does something very different. It allows you to try these games if you're challenged with your table space, or you just want something that's a bit more manageable, playable in a shorter time frame. It fits that particular part of the market very well. I'm just doing my first playthrough of the first scenario. It's an 8-turn scenario. It's not going to take very long. There's a very good playthrough of the first turn, which I actually used in this playthrough. Just went through it all just to cement some of the rules, get them well tied down, and I've sort of played on from that point. So I've just done the first 4 turns, so I'm just in the second half of the small scenario, and nice little game. It's very different to the others. Terrain is quite tough, so although there are armoured assets in the game, you don't really get a lot of opportunity to use them, because you spend a lot of the time fighting through mountain passes. But it's there's an interesting invasion, so there's a few special rules, but nothing that makes it harder to play. I mean, all of the systems had something a bit different in them. I mean, Holland had the airborne landings, and I remember Stalingrad has got the mobile supply units in it, which is not used elsewhere. Ukraine, I think, has got the Panzer Corps and the Russian Army counters. So all of these do something a little bit different, which I think is quite nice. But you know, 95% of the rules you will recognise if you are familiar with the others in the series. You've got to determine defences and shifts for artillery and air and all that kind of stuff, and the Zoc bonds, all the things that we've got very used to over time. So yeah, it's I think it's a very welcome addition to the series, because it does offer something a bit different. I know they're bringing out Africa, is it North Africa 41 is due out quite soon, so I will probably get that as well. I'm not a completist, because I don't have the France 1940 or the Normandy ones, which France 1940 I never tried it. It's not a particular phase of the war that I'm that interested in. And the Normandy one I never quite gelled with. I think there was some talk about the CRT was changed quite late in the day, after most of the play testing had been completed, and I had it in anyway, but that's maybe a story for a different video. But this one, Salerno 43, very nice, quick to set up, quick to punch. You can be playing within in the same afternoon that it arrives in your post box. So I'll have a quick look at the map. I'm sure you've seen it anyway, but I'll just show you where I am in my game. And I think I'm pretty much on target with the VPs. I think we've got 6, and I think the Allies need 7 by this turn, end of turn 5. So that's all quite tight as well. So far so good. Turn the light on because it's quite a grey day here today. So hopefully we can avoid too much glare. So here we are. We're on just starting turn 5. VPs are sat at 6 at the moment. There's a few accumulated supply points, and those that have been through the example of play will remember that one beachhead does go, gets taken out on the first turn by a German counterattack. So I've gone with that. So they've been slightly hampered by only having the one beachhead, which reminds me that it's also a VP, I believe. So maybe the Allies are on 5 and not 6. Anyway, that's TBD. So the Americans are pushed south and pushed inland. They feel quite secure now on the beachhead. The Germans have been pushed back a little bit. Battipaglia, that took two bites of the cherry to take that. We had a city fight there after the first round. It's some pretty poor die rolling on both sides actually, so not much progress. Salerno has fallen, but there are Germans within 2 hexes, so that means they're not getting the optimum supply. I think you only get, there's a couple of turns with the weather where you only get 1 point rather than 2 if there are German units, and there's quite a big lump there to move. This has got a 20 strength point limit in the game, which is not used in many of the others. I think there was an optional one in the Ardennes. So you're maxed out at 20. So 18 in defence there. You're always going to be looking at 1-to-1. I use these far in the east markers when I'm going around planning my turns, and you work out the odds. You put one of those on onto the next one, so when you come back to actually do the combat resolution, you don't have to go back and recalculate all the odds again. So I use those in most of my games now. So there we are, bit of a blockage there. At some point these guys will need to break through to get to the northern part of the map, with there's a few VPs there to be gathered, and I believe in a few turns time you're going to get the British, I think it's the other army, the 5th army, no, it's the 8th army. So at the moment the 5th army has landed, and the 8th army will appear on the southern map edge. So the Germans will need to be mindful of that. But yeah, enjoying it. You can probably see if I step back a bit, that's not even a full. It's not even a full map sheet. So quite a bit of gaming in a fairly small package. Hope that's been useful.